With e-commerce buyers demanding high-quality, engaging visuals and retailers under immense pressure to deliver immersive experiences across massive catalogs, how does a brand remove the friction from content creation? Welcome to One Amazing Thing About Infinite. Today we're talking with Mark Elfenbein, head of North America at Infinite, and he's going to be sharing one amazing thing about their visual experience platform with us today. Mark, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me today.
Yeah, looking forward to seeing this in action. But before we do, why don't we start with you giving a little background on yourself and your role at Infinite?
Sure. Yeah, my name is Mark Elfenbein. I head up the North American operations for Infinite, which is a Paris-based company which has been around for 7 years. Today, it's the largest financed CGI and AI company producing product visuals for large global retailers like Amazon and Costco and Walmart Canada, Wayfair, Staples, and many more. And we really generate, scale and the ability to create, product visuals for hundreds of thousands of SKUs for these product libraries for these significant retailers.
Great, great. So we're going to talk through the visual experience platform today. Tell us a little bit, why you chose this feature to showcase, who's the audience, and why is this important to them?
Yeah. So, one of the things that we're going to show today is how retailers can deploy, immersive visual experiences across all of their product SKUs. And so, historically, when you might shop pages on retailer sites, you may get one image, one might look good, one may look fake, and you don't get a consistent experience. What we're able to provide is kind of a standardization of best of breed visual product experiences across tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of SKUs. And we just want to show how retailers are making use of that technology.
Great, great. Well, yeah, let's take a look. Why don't you share your screen and talk us through it?
Yeah, sounds great. So what I'm going to do first here is I'm going to walk you into what we call our Infinite platform, where if you're a brand or large retailer, you can come into this platform, which we give access to you. You can upload a product SKU to us and basically order any kind of immersive visual experience. Historically, why this is really interesting is because you would have to do a studio photography photo shoot to build these scenes, these individual products. These photo shoots can cost tens of thousands of dollars for one photo shoot, and so as a result, it became very cost prohibitive for a large global retailer that has a couple million SKUs to address their entire product catalog. Today, we can address it with a combination of CGI and AI technology. And we'll just kind of run through how a large retailer, such as Lowe's, may use the platform to upload a product and then order product visuals to deploy onto their site.
Great.
And what we have here is an example of an account where we might have 4 product visuals as an example here, or 4 SKUs that are loaded in the system. So as an example, we'll walk into here. I think we're looking at a couch at the bottom here. That could be an example of like a reference image. And as we walk into the system here, we can see that on the top right corner may be an existing reference image or like a shot you might have of a product. A lot of times it's not going to be nearly this clean looking. It could be literally almost like a user generated image on the showroom floor of the product, or maybe just an image that's scraped off of a website. And as a retailer, you might say, hey, I want to have an entire product detail tray of product visuals from everything from close-up shots to 360 spins to lifestyles. If that's the case, you can upload the product into the system. We receive it, and then we will, as an automatic output of the system, provide everything that you could see on the left-hand side here, which are all these different kinds of product visuals, anything from close-up shots to 360s to really incredible lifestyle scenes that were built. As you're looking at everything, keep in mind there's no studio photography here. This is all generated with a combination of AI or CGI, just depending on the specific use case. As a retail vendor, you can look at this and then approve images that you think, yeah, this meets our brand standards, or you can come back with different comments. Maybe the lighting isn't quite the way you like it. Maybe the hero image is not quite centered the way you like it. You can provide feedback to us, and we'll come back, make those adjustments, and automatically output all those corrections. At that point, now you can deploy a beautiful product detail page of all these cool visual experiences. And just another good one here. So this is really big in the home living category, but it really lives across all sorts of product verticals like CPG, outdoor, sporting goods, etc. And here's a kind of a cool one that we would have done for Kellogg, and we could see here's just a CPG drink. What we may have gotten was maybe kind of like a front and maybe back starting point of this, but we can put together this really cool kind of 360 spin, which, as you imagine, if you're shopping on a grocery shopping site, I think this adds a lot to the perceived value of the product and makes it kind of a fun shopping experience.
Yeah.
Put the product into context, kind of into a kitchen setting, etc. At this point, the customer usually has a lot more confidence to make a purchase. They understand it a lot better. It really reduces returns to retailers because a lot more of the content is understood by the shopper. And this is just a little bit of an example of kind of how the platform would function, how you as a supplier or retailer might upload a product SKU to us. And then we would take that and automatically output all the product visuals that you would need for your product detail pages or your in-store signage, your social media, even television commercials. So that's just a little look at the platform. So what I thought would be really interesting to look at right now is how some of this technology really impacts the actual, shopping user experience, where we could do really cool things like add all of the products that have been digitized now in the virtual world, put it into a scene for the shopper at their favorite retail site, and then start designing their own scenes, whether it's a kitchen or a bedroom or a living room, and creating a very immersive shopping experience. So as an example, in this example, anything with a hotspot, the shopper can come in and toggle and add a different item that might be, a more personalized kind of a look for them. And so we can seamlessly swap in and out of all the items that work perfectly into the scene in terms of size and, size correctness and style, and allow the user to get a really customized experience. And the other really cool thing about this is that everything in here would be items from that specific retailer as
Mhm.
opposed to items that they don't sell. These are all items that would be available for purchase. I then can click on an item, I can check out and build a cart. So there's, kind of a really cool experience. We can do this. This is a living room scene. We can do this in the bathroom as well. As an example, maybe this mirror in the back here, I really like kind of a different style of a mirror. And this makes a lot of sense in my space. And so I can kind of see how things look in these environments and build an entire room that's custom to me, put the whole thing in a shopping cart and check out if I want. And we're seeing, incredible uptake and conversion rate when a shopper has this kind of a immersive experience in terms of a checkout. And, just some of the cool things that AI and CGI can do, whereas, traditional studio photography could never do this as little as 1 or 2 years ago.
Yeah, yeah. Wow, this is, yeah, very very cool stuff here. And yeah, I mean, definitely, I think there's so much pressure for for brands to be able to show off all their products, and certainly they don't want to limit the amount of products they have, but to your point, they have all these SKUs, and that creates another burden for them on product photography and all that stuff. So yeah, I mean, this looks like a great opportunity to kind of to bypass that entire need and really just kind of give customers more flexibility in viewing things, right?
And I think another thing that really brings us into context is the ability to start looking at how different customers are actually using this technology in the marketplace. So,
Yeah.
as an example, we could look here at let's look at Lowe's, who's a customer of ours. And we could see that we're on a product detail page of a fire pit. And keep in mind, once again, this is all using either CGI or AI technology from Infinite. And we could start looking at some really cool immersive experiences. For example, maybe I want to start looking at this fire pit in a more of a 3D kind of a look. I then can start looking at different lifestyle images that we see here, And we actually have a 3D deployment as well that we could do,
Yeah.
where I can start now articulating this item and
Yeah.
actually flipping it around and really understanding the context of it. And what we find, the more you could actually look at these products in close detail, move them around, see what's on the bottom. There might be electrical panels on a fridge. You want to see how the plugs work. This really gives the user a much more immersive experience to give them the confidence that they have all the data they need in detail to convert to make a purchase. So Lowe's, as an example, takes advantage of this immersive technology. And now when you go from product page to product page, you have the same experience. It's not like one supplier has maybe one odd shot of a product and another one has a different style. It's all standardized now, and you get a very consistent shopping experience, which we think is very important to the user.
Yeah. Yeah, and you mentioned this already, but just that idea of, being able to manage those expectations or giving them a better idea of what they're buying. It also reduces returns or and stuff like that. Is that what you're saying as well? Is just like,
Yeah, it definitely does. And so what we see, and especially on large items where the shopper does not have a context of the size and how it fits into their room,
yeah,
return rates are huge on this. And so this kind of immersive CGI and AI technology is really critical in order to reduce those returns, increase conversion rates. Another cool thing here is even just the idea that you can do like a 360 spin of a
yeah,
product using CGI and AI provides kind of all the angles and shots that a shopper would typically need to have that confidence. And um,
yeah,
and it's really made possible through this technology. And just to be able to get to the scale of a catalog that has tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of SKUs is very, very difficult, and historically has been unaddressable.
yeah, yeah. Love it. Well, no, this is great to see, and thanks for sharing it. For those that are interested in learning more, what's a next step for them to take?
A next step would be great. We have a really good website at infinite.app, and there you can see all these immersive visual experiences. You can get in touch with the team, and we'd love to work with you if you have an interest in immersive experiences for your shoppers.
Great, great. Well, again, I'd like to thank Mark Elfenbein, head of North America at Infinite, for joining the show. You can learn more about Mark and Infinite by following the links in the show notes.